Hi there. Welcome to Therapy Minute episode 4. I wanted to start today talking about another specialty area of mine, which is the field of sex addiction. So, I've spent the last couple of therapy minutes talking about couples therapy, no pun intended there. And I wanted to spend some time moving forward for a few episodes talking about my work with sex addiction. And when people think of sex addiction, a lot of times they think mostly of men or male sex addicts. And there are a lot of male sex addicts out there, and certainly part of my work is helping those clients as well. But it isn't a disease that just applies to men. It actually impacts a lot of women as well. And what I've noticed in my work is that women tend to seek therapy much later in their addiction and in their struggle. And I think that's related to a cultural stigma and a taboo around sex addiction and what it means for women who struggle with sexual issues versus men. And my hope is that part of my work and the rest of the sex addiction professionals out there is to help create a safe place where a male or female struggling with sex addiction can really have the opportunity to talk about how difficult that is, how hard that is, how shaming it is. We know that the root of addiction is shame, and the root of sex addiction is no different. Or the root might not be the best way to frame that, but the center of it. And I think oftentimes for women that takes on a very different um, level of shame than it does for men in our culture. And so female sex addicts often manifest their issues a little bit differently than male sex addicts. What I've noticed is that I see women who also have the features of love addiction along with their sex addiction a lot of times. And if you don't know what all those terms mean, don't worry. I'm going to kind of give you an example to talk about what that may look like. But many women who struggle with sex addiction also struggle with choosing partners that are healthy for them. Being in a relationship for a long period of time is often very scary, and they might have successive short term relationships, one right after the other, and really struggle finding the right one, so to speak. And they often get they often get stuck in repeating the same relationship struggles over and over and over. And usually that's related to something in their history, which is part of what we can explore in therapy. And my hope is that in working with any addicts, male or female sex addicts, that I could help them move towards having the relationship that they want and deserve, and a relationship that isn't abusive emotionally or physically, that is safe and loving and caring. And all of that starts by working with the addict to start loving themselves. And in turn, they will seek out relationships that are more loving and healthy as well. So, if you're someone who is wondering when I'm going to find that relationship that I've dreamed of, and I don't know what it is that's keeping me so stuck in these awful relationships that seem to happen one right after the next, you might consider taking a look at some of that in therapy in a safe, non judgmental place where you can be supported to kind of tease all of that out. Just because you have those relationships does not mean that you are a sex addict. It also doesn't mean that you're not. So, it's my specialty in both, relational therapy and sex addiction really provides the opportunity to explore all of that. So I hope that this has maybe stirred up some thoughts about sex addiction and love addiction and relationship struggles. I'm going to be talking more about this in upcoming episodes. And so I hope you'll stay tuned. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. Leave me comments or questions below so that I can help address some of your concerns and thoughts as we continue this. This is such a new topic in our field and a topic that a lot of people are curious about. So I hope that it over time clarifies some questions you may have. Also, don't hesitate to check out my blog at relationshiprecoverycenter.com. I'll be updating that with more detailed and thorough information about all of these topics as we go along. So thanks for tuning in. I look forward to seeing you on our next episode. Take care. Bye-bye.